Well, welcome everybody. I'm thrilled that you all are here. I want to thank everybody for being here. We are joined today by some other elected officials. We have County Clerk Brenda Wynn, who I think is back there. She is the co-chair for the Affordability Task Force and also does great work. We're also joined behind me, Vice Mayor David Briley and several council members, and I'd like to recognize all of them. Councilmember Elrod, Councilmember Hurt, Councilmember Pridemore, Councilmember Johnson, Councilmember Allen, Councilmember Syracuse, Councilmember Murphy, Councilmember Van Reese, Councilmember O'Connell, and Councilmember Anthony Davis. We're also joined by former Councilmember and State Representative Janice Santani, who's also out there. So thank you all. You know, we see a lot these days, a polarization across society, but I can tell you there is one thing that we've all come to a consensus around here in Nashville, and that is this unifying belief that we have a traffic problem. And we see it across our city, and unless we do something about it, starting now, it's only going to get worse. I am pleased today that the Metro Council members behind me feel the same way. And members of the Metro Council today have co-signed to sponsor the ordinance that we will present to Council for voters to determine their transportation future. We all know that by 2040, Nashville's population is going to grow by more than 1 million people. And we see cranes that dot across our skyline. That represents a lot of new economic opportunity, amenities, jobs, and it also brings more cars and more traffic. In downtown alone, a recent analysis showed that the development projects that are either proposed or planned or under construction with downtown's office space will more than double, and our residential units will more than triple in the upcoming years. That's going to result in more than 167,000 more daily trips to and from downtown. And this is not just limited to downtown. Our growth is happening all across Nashville and Davidson County. So our question is not whether we'll grow, because we are growing and we will continue to grow, but how we're going to grow. Now, our transit improvement program allows Nashville to manage our inevitable growth in a much more sustainable way that ensures that great new jobs, amenities, and new residents resulting from all that growth don't detract from that quality of life that Nashvillians expect now and in the future. Let's Move Nashville, which is the Metro's transportation solution, is not just my plan, it's not just Metro's plan, it is a combined effort of local, regional, and state resident leaders who have come together to shape this, making it bold and comprehensive for our transportation improvement. The council members behind me know all too well as I do that our constituents are not content with just Band-Aids and short fixes. They want a long-term solution that's going to allow residents to get around this city in a faster, more efficient, and effective way. And they want a solution that also offers up transportation independence, a solution that expands access for our citizens, mobility, affordability, and opportunity so that all Nashvillians can benefit. We have a very thoughtful, active, and deliberative council behind me, and I am sure over the next coming weeks there are going to be lots of questions, and there's going to be lots of really good discussion. And my team and I are absolutely happy to work with council members to provide the answers that we can so that we not only give voters what they need, but we also enthusiastically help everyone understand that this is the right approach to make sure that we do not continue to see our gridlock. Along with this ordinance, to approve the language on the ballot for the May 1st referendum, we will be providing a more detailed and comprehensive transit improvement program book that will answer a lot of the questions I know that people have about the proposed transit network, also the financing details, as well as the job and the ridership forecast. We'll also be working with the state of Tennessee and an independent auditing firm to get third-party approvals and assurances that our plan is financially feasible and also financially responsible to the taxpayers of Davidson County. We look forward to providing that information as it becomes available in order to help inform and to also shape the discussions that we know will come. Now, I would like to welcome Vice Mayor David Briley. He's going to talk more about the legislative process. He has been a great partner in these conversations, and I'm happy to ask him to join me.
I'm going to be real brief. So more than 50 years ago, our community came together to confront another set of issues to look at a different era of growth, and the community came together and decided that the best way to grow as a community where everyone would benefit was to consolidate the city and county governments. Leaders like Z. Alexander Luby and Cecil Brandstetter and others worked hard for years, from 1957 to 1962, to come up with a charter that everyone would get behind and approve. And ultimately, in 1962, the community came together and made what many believe was the most monumental decision in our city's modern history. A decision that's led to unprecedented economic growth, to prosperity for a broad group of people, and to incredible wealth being created in our community. Today, we're in a similar set of circumstances where over the past 5 or 6 years, our community has talked at length and gone into great detail about how we're going to confront our transportation issues in this region and in this community. That has all coalesced behind an ordinance that will be filed tomorrow for the Metro Council to consider. An ordinance that will ask our community once again to make a big decision about how we're going to confront a problem that stands in the way of continued prosperity. The ordinance will be on first reading December 19th. It will then be on second reading January 2nd. At that meeting, the mayor, the sponsors, and I will ask that the council defer second reading to January 16th. Between the 2nd and the 16th, the council will hold an unprecedented and unrequired public hearing on January 9th here in the council chambers. And then on the 11th, we'll bring together the entire council to act as a committee of the whole. The reason we're doing it as a whole is so that each and every council member will have every opportunity necessary to ask every question, both that they and their constituents have, of the mayor, of Public Works, of everyone involved in the process. And then on February 6th, we will have the bill back in front of us for third and final reading. If the council adopts it at that meeting, then we will have the referendum on May 1st, where I'm optimistic and hopeful that the city will come together and make the positive decision to move forward on a transit and transportation set of solutions that this community desperately needs. Now, 50, 60 years ago, it's clear nobody would have anticipated Nashville would be a hockey town, right? I mean, hockey, who would have thought? I'm going to use an overused Wayne Gretzky quote here and say, you got to skate to where the puck's going to be, not where it has been. Nashville has a chance to skate to where the puck is going to be. If we move forward as a community, make the investment we need to make in transit and transportation, we will continue to be a prosperous city, probably not as famous or as successful as the great one, but close. So I'm optimistic that we'll pass this. I think it's important for the city to do, and we look forward to having every question answered between now and February 6th. Thanks.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Briley, Mayor Barry.
Yeah, no, you're good, you're fine.
Sorry, I take up more room than y'all. It is my pleasure to be here today and an honor to serve as the lead sponsor of this truly monumental legislation. I'm pleased to be joined by a majority of my council colleagues as co-sponsors on the legislation who believe, as I do, that this must be something that we do now to address our transportation problems today and into the future. Also, I appreciate Mayor Barry's leadership on this issue and her willingness to put forth such a daring plan. I ran for office in 2015 because I wanted to make a difference in my community. I wanted to be a voice for my constituents and to make meaningful, positive change for my district and my city. Over the last few years, we have seen progress in some areas, but traffic and transportation continues to be the biggest growing problem facing our community. We can improve the quality of our roads. We can make Nashville more pedestrian-friendly through new and repaired sidewalks and better crossings. We can retime our traffic signals to make traffic flow more efficiently. These are things that we are doing now, but we are not going to pave our way out of traffic congestion, and our problems aren't going to go away because of driverless robot cars. Our population jobs will continue to grow, and that means more and more cars if we don't have viable public transportation alternatives for residents to choose from. In my district, for example, we've seen some incredible growth and progress along the Knowlesville Road corridor. I represent a diverse population that includes many new American entrepreneurs who have established businesses and are creating jobs along this corridor. I want that success to continue, but in order to do so, we need better transportation and transit options for residents and visitors alike. This transportation solution is one of the boldest and most comprehensive plans ever put forth by a major American city. If approved by the voters, this plan will fundamentally reorient and reimagine our growth in ways that will create the density where we want it, while relieving development pressures on our residential neighborhoods. It will allow Nashville to become the city we want it to be without losing what we love so dearly about our neighborhoods. It will give our residents better options to make choices about how they choose to move around Nashville, about where they live, where they work, where they shop, where they entertain. It gives those who want it fast, safe, and affordable public transportation while taking cars off the road for those who make the choice to drive. Our city will have more options and more flexibility as new technologies develop, because we will have a robust transit system at its backbone. This is a rare opportunity for Nashville to invest in itself and to build something every Nashvilleian can benefit from. Every part of our city will see more and better transit, whether it's improved bus service or light rail, and it can only be done through this plan and the investment in this plan. This is the plan that moves Nashville forward into the future with a transportation system a city like ours deserves and needs. I look forward to a vigorous and lively discussion over the coming weeks, and I strongly believe that the conversation will end with the voters of Davidson County having the opportunity to vote for a transit program that will create transportation independence in our city.